anticipated fight and who I think the winner of this will go on to win the division. It is T.M.Spriggs versus R.Mateus.
Now, there's been some rough first matches on paper, but this could possibly be the toughest one.
Yeah,
right?
I had this as the toughest and most closely matched first-round matchup of the entire tournament. Both guys, even though they bounce in and out of the same weight class, they've never fought before.
Interesting. Spriggs, known for good stand-up and good guard passing.
Yeah, Hudson's known for his very dangerous arm attacks and close guard, and even a very dangerous 50-50. One of the few people that have a very high submission rate from 50-50 without having to attack the legs.
Yeah, very famously getting that armbar from 50-50 many, many times.
Yeah,
it's a tough armbar to get.
Yeah, he seems very strong there. I'd expect him to try to pull quit, whereas Tim seems to be aware of that, so he's looking to get his grips and get a quick 2 before Hudson has a chance to pull.
Got a chance to talk to Tim ahead of this tournament, and he had a really interesting story where he basically for an entire year, or maybe even a year and a half, like trained very little jiu-jitsu and was just working like a day job.
Yeah, I was around for that actually.
And that was within the last year, correct?
Yeah, and he got really serious, like right back into it, and even fought at the last ADCC, had some very good matches, including a very good match with Buchecha, and he jumped right back into competition. Has had a lot of great fights, a lot of super fights and things like that since then.
Pretty amazing story. Can't think of a lot of fighters that have taken that kind of a time off and come back and been so successful right away.
Yeah, he sprung right back into it. He competed at Pans. He competed at every like big tournament, and a lot of super fight tournaments, including he just fought last weekend in Brazil, and I believe he has a super fight with Craig Jones just the next week after this. So he's super busy, and he's going to go right into Pans from there. So staying super busy.
Gets that power grip over the back.
Yeah, he's known for that foot sweep on his entry there, so it's hard for guys to pull guard. But with Tim's game, it's kind of hard because he's also known for having a very strong knee cut. So you may not want to get thrown, but if you pull, you still have to deal with the knee cut. So it's very hard for matchups. But I would still expect someone like Hudson to want to get to his guard, but he's looking to
deep entry on this one. Whoa.
Yeah, I believe Hudson's trying to get a better grip so that he can jump guard. I don't think he wants to pull. I think he wants to jump to close.
Thanks to the referees that Spriggs did not end up launching himself off the mats right at the end there.
Yeah, there's about a 2-foot gap where it's straight down in between the seats.
Oh, and there's the guard pull interception. Oh, but they hit that black part of the mat, so it's going to be out of bounds.
Interesting. Are they going to stand up or are they going to give advantage? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they're going to give an advantage for that. And that's because the guard attempt, the takedown attempt happened as they were going out of bounds, correct?
Yes, but I believe they gave the advantage to the wrong side.
Oh.
So they may be correcting that later. I'm not too sure if that was meant for Hudson or not.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, one of the side refs gave the advantage to Tim, but the head ref gave the advantage the other way. I'm not too sure. That was just
that seems like a mistake.
Whoa. That's Tim's signature train wreck throw there. It's very hard to deal with.
Train wreck throw.
Very tough throw.
Very aggressive Seonagi attempt.
Yeah. And if you don't defend it properly, you're going to end up putting your head right into the mat. It's a very dangerous position to be in.
Grabbing that cross collar, they immediately move out of bounds. That's one of the problems, even with mat space as big as this, when you have two very big guys like these competitors and ones that move very well, they cover a lot of distance.
Yeah, definitely. They can go from the middle right to the edge in one movement.
Spending a lot of time here, though.
Yeah, I would expect Hudson to have pulled already, but like I said, he wants to get to his closed guard, it seems. His only real attempt towards getting to his guard was that guard jump on the edge.
Seemingly, Hudson knows a bit of Spriggs' game and is a little bit leery of jumping right to guard.
Yeah, we're getting to the halfway point of this match. If they correct that advantage, it would be going towards Intense favor. And if I had to give it, cut it right here and call a ref's decision, I would have to give it to Tim just off the aggression.
Of course, yeah, because Hudson hasn't even really had a chance to start anything yet. He's still trying to get going at this point.
And it could be very tough to try to get, I think he's trying to get the perfect grips, and that's something that's very hard to get on Tim because he's always moving. As you can see, he's always stepping in and out, and he likes to lead with his own attack, so it's hard to settle into your grips.
Maybe the refs saw the points. Oh no, they're going to change for penalty points. I thought the ref looked at the score for a second and then stopped them. I thought for sure he was going to change the score.
He may have at this point forgotten which, like if it was in his head at all, he may not have realized. But that's not up to him. That's up to the side refs to realize that.
Oh, and the guard pull immediately as they start to fall out of bounds.
Yeah,
Luckily,
are they going to
right
stand that up, or are they going to put him in the guard? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I believe he called time right before the jump.
Man, this is an intense matchup.
Yeah, I'm not too certain about the penalties both ways.
The guard pull nearly simultaneous.
It seemed like the
as
same thing again. I'm not too sure they're going to keep standing
it up,
or
they're going to put him on the ground.
Are they going to put him into the guard? No.
Keep him standing. Okay.
I think because he's trying to time it after the foot sweep attempt, it always gets called the time right as the foot sweep's going because it's out of bounds, so he's not able to get reset into his guard here.
Now, do you think that that's a strategic thing that Hudson's doing because he's moving back?
Yeah, he seems to be waiting for the attack and then going for the guard. I'm not sure if the out of bounds is part of it, because if it was, it's not a very good strategy because he's gotten to his closed guard 3 times and it got reset 3 times.
Although if you get perhaps the wrong advantage call in your name, then that can put you ahead.
Yeah.
This is what
so right now it's kind of burning time. I don't know if he's seen the score or thinks that is right or wrong, but he seems to be not really picking the pace up too much.
I can't imagine that the score is correct, just because what did Hudson do for
he went to pull.
Whoa, and deep on a double leg as they go out of bounds. Luckily, everyone's safe still.
Yeah. Tim may want to start circling to where his back is to the out of bounds because he's getting in on a couple good attacks here and not able to finish them.
Yep.
So this is more of a match of like positioning on the mat right now. Hudson's doing a good job of circling so that his back is always to the mat.
Yeah, and you can see the ref right away trying to get in between the competitors and the edge of the mat.
Yeah, here Tim is circling a little bit more towards the center.
This is good.
Oh, that's a definite 2 there.
Definite takedown. Nice. And that puts Spriggs
up here, and Hudson's working a deep De La Riva. Yeah, he's underhooking here. This puts a lot of pressure on the knee going forward. It's very good to get closed guard once you're here. He may even, no, he doesn't have a lapel grip. It looked like the lapel was getting pulled on a little bit.
Now, what should Spriggs be doing to counter this?
He should be turning his knee out, and if he can't turn his knee out, he should be looking to free his left hand to scoop in between the legs to go to more of a stack position, just so that you don't get pulled, because see, Hudson's going to extend and go to the closed guard from here. But Tim has the far leg stuffed, so the closed guard is going to be kind of hard to get. This is interesting, though, because this is both of their good positions, because Tim can go to a knee cut very good from here, and Hudson can also go to closed guard. So it's going to be a battle who can get to their position first. Hudson reaching for an over-the-back grip, but it's going to cost him a little bit of space here. Almost coming up with a nice, strong sweep, but Tim counters into the closed guard.
Surprised he actually didn't finish that because he had Spriggs' arm dragged all the way across his body. Spriggs able to get that arm back, and he's in a much better position now.
Yeah, so 30 seconds left. Hudson really has to pick up the pace. He can't really relax here, though, because they both have the 2 penalties. And if he gets hit with the ref looking at his watch before 20 seconds, he can get a penalty right at the end. So now that it's under 20, it should actually be impossible for him to get a stalling call. So he can technically sit here, but in my opinion, I would still look to stand up, just because someone that's as dangerous from closed guard as Hudson, you never want to give him a chance to go for an armbar or anything. So 3 seconds here.
So no chance to secure the sweep, even if he gets it.
Yeah.
That's Spriggs is going to take this one.
That was actually a very strategic match. There was 2 ways that I saw the match going, and that was one of them. Either Tim was going to be able to enforce his game a little bit more with the takedowns and the mat positioning, or Hudson was going to get to his close guard. So in this one, Tim ended up being able to get to his game first and be more effective.
Always much easier because Hudson eventually did get to the game that he wanted.
Yeah.
But
that 2 points kind of
but when you're down points,
especially with such short time at black belt, 2 minutes is not a lot of time at all to work.
Timothy-michaelspriggs.
So 1 more match left to go. Here's the replay.
Yeah.
This is Spriggs.
I believe this is one of the out of bounds takedowns, yeah.
Yep.
This is where the advantage got scored for Hudson, but I believe that was a mistaken advantage. So
I mean, the only way it could be is if they said it was a near sacrifice throw, but all of that happened out of bounds. And
yeah, I think it was just
I don't know.
A slight mistake there on the ref part.
I think so as well.
Didn't affect the match, so it's not a big issue.
But it could have been, though.
Yeah, could have been close there.
If there was no takedown at the end.